that don't want what we know out there.
How a person can go from really almost nothing to becoming a millionaire by owning rental properties.
He would always buy these flip houses, and I just remember thinking, this guy is crazy. Why would he buy that house?
In the past decade, there's been a huge surge in the peer-to-peer short-term rental market.
Become an insider. So you have to know the rules before you get the game.
Every second counts. So make every second count.
Welcome to the Real Estate Jam. Whether you're just beginning or the best of the best, we're glad you're here. We will share successes, failures, and strategies for the action-taking real estate investor. And now to your hosts, JD and Melissa.
Hi guys, welcome to the Real Estate Jam. I'm JD with my wonderful co-host,
me,
Melissa.
EXP.
Melissa, the EXP realtor. Melissa, did I ever tell you I dislike realtors?
Yes, you did.
And I also dislike phones during the middle of a podcast.
I'm sorry, I turned it off.
Okay, guys. Well, we wanted to come in today, and we had the idea of starting a new educational series. We're really gonna kind of walk you through the basics of what is wholesaling. This is going to be great for any of the new investors. And once we get through the basics of wholesaling in subsequent episodes, we'll go into some of the more advanced tactics and some of the things that we're doing in our business, some of the things that people from our masterminds around the country are doing in their business, and how they're going to capitalize on the changing market to succeed in their either real estate investing business, fix and flip, buy and hold, or the wholesaling business. So, Melissa, without any further ado,
let's do it.
We'll start out with podcast 1 of this new series, and it is Intro to Wholesaling. Melissa, can you tell me, like, just on the very most basic terms, what is wholesaling?
No, I can't tell you that. I want to tell you my first wholesaling story.
Okay, we'll do that.
I want to do that because I was totally against wholesaling all these years, and I feel really stupid now looking back, because I thought it was like cheap and dirty, and I don't know. I just didn't like anything, and we were at a mastermind, and they wanted us to see if we could get a deal. Like, we took a break and you had to go out and find a deal. So I went out and found a property. It was a total piece of shit property in Birmingham, Alabama, on Craigslist. And, had no idea really what I was doing or what the value was or anything, and offered $3,000 for it. And he took it, and that was
Let me just ask a couple of questions about that. So you went out on break and you just started searching Craigslist, and you found, was this a direct to seller, or was this another wholesaler?
Direct to seller.
So you just, and then you text him, message him, what?
I called him.
And what'd you say?
And I just said, I'm an investor looking to pick up some properties. Can you tell me a little bit about your property? There had been a couple pictures on Craigslist, but let me tell you, those pictures did not do the property justice.
Okay.
And so, offered him, he said, sure. Yeah, he would take that. And then after we came off the break, they helped us do a contract. And so that's what I sent him over a contract. He signed it. Then I went over that weekend because I was living here in Panama City Beach. So it was about 4 hours, and looked at it, and it was like, oh gosh, I was scared because you
already had it under contract at that point.
Yeah,
you did
done.
Everything.
Yeah.
We were virtually.
Yes. And so there was no floor in there. There had been a fire that nobody had mentioned. So what was there was burned up, and it was definitely a shit show property. And then I just started reaching out, and I started reaching out, I think, before that, but then I didn't have any videos. And then I just started reaching out to other wholesalers, and I didn't go to buyers. I just went direct to other wholesalers because I didn't really know what I was doing. And we negotiated down to $6,000 and walked away with $3,000. And I probably spent, outside of my drive time, 35 to 40 minutes on it.
Yeah.
And then I was like hooked, right? I have that check framed and everything, because this was like so cool to be able to have cash to help what I wanted to do. This was before I met JD.
It was
it was
same
after,
time.
Same time.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do with JD buy and holds and, investment properties and stuff. And this was just quick and easy cash to throw into it.
Printed money. That's probably what our downfall was, is that one thing was so easy.
Mm-hmm.
It happened just like that. Why haven't we done that 6 times today? What's the reason?
Because you're too conservative. I would have done it 6 times today.
What did the other wholesalers do with that property?
They turned around and sold it. I think they sold it for 15.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do anything to it. And they turned around and sold it 15 because they had a big buyer's list. I didn't have any of that. I didn't even know what that stuff was, outside of just, something that somebody threw out, in wholesale mastermind.
Yeah. So if you were a buy and hold investor or fix and flip, and you kind of have that wholesaling is dirty mindset, it's not something that you're looking for, not something that you want to do.
Get over that.
Get over it. You can literally print your own money if you're doing it the right way.
And you got to look at it different. Your whole mindset has to change, because you're just doing what other people don't have time to do. And once I've recognized that more, it's like I'm being a shopper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A shopper of deals instead of a buyer of deals. I definitely like that idea. If you look at it in just its most basic format, you find a property that you can get for a price. You put it under contract for that price, and you find somebody else who's willing to pay just a little bit more than what you were willing to pay or what you were able to negotiate. And that's where you make your profit. There's a bunch of different closing, but essentially you are selling them your interest in that property, and you're making a profit. They're making their profit on the back end once they flip it or turn it into a rental. You're making your money on the front end when you transfer that property to them. Now, that's the basic level. You did it super simple. It really is that simple, and you could do that if you get just a regular contract. You understand, and you're not scared to talk to people, and that's the biggest thing.
It is.
But when we're breaking it down, there's really, to do this on a consistent basis and not just a one-off. I got 4 different steps, right? First, you got to market the property. And what that really means, market to sellers, what that really means is that's where you find your property, right? And there's a million different ways, which we'll go into later on, but identifying and finding somebody who has a property that wants to sell that you can negotiate at a discount. Now, the next step to that is once you find somebody who's willing to sell, you need to work the deal. And people don't just give away their equity because they want to. If somebody doesn't need to sell for a discount, they're not going to do that. So what are some of the reasons that people need to sell, Melissa? Like fire damage house, for example, or some of the other deals that we've done?
Just different ones. There's people who the owners die, and there's family relations there. They get those through the estate. There's divorces. There's just life happenings where people get sick and they can't, they need money fast or, whatever. But there's just a million different reasons.
Right. You're like I said, you're never going to buy a property at a discount for somebody who doesn't need to sell for a discount, whether that's time or life circumstance. There's some sort of distress. And so the second part is working that deal. And that's where you're really getting paid. The reason Melissa got paid was because she found somebody willing to sell a property at a discount because it had the fire damage and they didn't want to deal with that. If they wanted to get the most amount of money possible, they would have fixed that fire damaged house and then sold it for more than $3,000. And you were able to find somebody who could push that off to their buyers list that could make money from whatever their investment strategy is. Working the deal no deals are found, they're only created, and you do that through solving these people's problem, whether that's somebody who doesn't know how to do the probate, whether that's somebody who doesn't want to handle an eviction, if there's physical distress to the property, termites, plumbing problems, electrical problems, roof problems, mold, all those kind of issues are things that other people don't necessarily want to deal with, and you, with just a little bit of research and maybe some networking, can find the solutions to those problems.
And the biggest thing was that it didn't take any money out of my pocket. So I didn't have to spend any, like sometimes people think that you have to close, or double close, but you have to close on it and put your money into it. And we did not. I just took an assignment fee.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're able to create that money, that's great, but you can't create that money until you have a property or till you have a buyer that you can sell, because somebody has to have money to get that deal done, whether they're getting it from a lender, hard money loan, private money. So the next step is finding your buyers. Now, you use Craigslist, I think, on that deal to find the seller and the buyer, and so you really just connected them together and then made a profit from that. There are a ton of different ways: Facebook, Craigslist, local RIAs, all that kind of stuff. Anywhere you're meeting other investors who are actually doing deals in your market, you're going to be able to do it. If you're wholesaling virtually, the best way is to find other wholesalers. Just Google "sell my house fast Memphis," and you're going to get a dozen hits on their websites. Just make a phone call, reach out to them, see what they're looking for. And if you have a deal under contract and you're coming to them, they're going to let you know, are you too high, too low? Can they make any money on this? Do they want a JV with you? And I think that's huge, especially starting out. Doing a joint venture with somebody who's an already established wholesaler
that has a buyer's list.
Huge. And if you go that route with a JV, you don't even really have to worry about the next step, which is getting the deal closed and transaction coordination. But if you're going to go out and find your own buyer who's not in the industry or who isn't a wholesaler, then you're going to need your title company. And I mean, that's as simple as Googling title companies and calling each one and asking them if they'll do an assignment. And if you get through 100 and you don't find one, there's probably a problem. You're not asking the questions right. But just in our little local market, there's at least 6 different title companies that'll do an assignment deal, and there's pluses and minuses. But that's one of your most important team members would be the closing agent and a good title company. And from that point, it's just about getting the title company the information they need, whether it's from the buyer or the seller, because you don't have a real estate agent in there coordinating all of that like you would if you were selling a property the traditional way. So you need to be that person and take an active role in getting that information done. And then that's it. That's pretty much basic wholesaling in a nutshell. If you guys do have any questions, you can reach out to us on Facebook. We've started mentoring and coaching. So if you wanted to jump on to a free 30-minute call, you can speak to either me or Melissa or
we'll put the link in.
Josh. Yeah, yep. We'll put the link in and we can discuss kind of what's best or what's the next step for you. Really, we can talk about anything that you want.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free.
JD will give you lots and lots of information for free.
Because I like to talk a lot. But if you're interested in deep diving, come back and look for the next couple of podcasts where we will release more in depth on each one of those marketing, working the leads, buyers, and working your buyer's list and closing the deals. We'll kind of give you a master class on each of those. That's all I got. Melissa, you got anything?
Thanks so much.
Awesome. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Jam. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information, check out our website, therealestatejam.com, or find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at The Real Estate Jam. If you have any questions, feel free to drop us an email at therealestatejam@gmail.com. See you next episode.